Hey, everybody, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zare, and I'm joined by the original daddy, Rich Stambolian.
What's up, baby? Daddy-O, I always thought was a funny nickname. Real quick before we get started, Pablo Garcia with the $20 in the super chat. Happy Father's Day to all the Matt Men crew. Thank you. Andrew is the real dad.
I'm the original daddy.
Jonathan is, I don't think he's here today, but he may have kids.
Definitely
his seed may have spread across the country.
Definitely. Jonathan has some illegitimate children running around this country, and that's a travesty.
It's frightening to think about.
It is frightening. It's very frightening. And
what's going on?
MG has a bunch of mole kids.
Oh, yeah.
Lives
he
in
adopted those. For sure.
Mm-hmm. He found them. He found them.
He found them when he was trying to dig through the crater.
We got a lot to talk about today. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We're doing a Father's Day morning show. Most of you guys are going out for breakfast and brunch. We're here talking professional wrestling on a Sunday, which, listen, man, what a great day for wrestling last night. I loved it. I got to tell you, I was a little concerned, right? Like, what's the vibe on a Saturday, right? And we talk about this. I think the day matters a lot. Like, Monday's historically known for wrestling. I'm not really big on a Friday night wrestling.
Yeah.
I never have been. I thought Thursday was a better night for Smackdown always. And I was a little worried, like, how's the vibe on this? It seemed like people were into this, man. They were psyched. People were tweeting. I watched last night. I watched the entirety of the show. I actually have it on again. Just because I was having a couple drinks. Jess and I are hanging out. And I do want to talk about, because she watched that whole show and her perspective of Punk and everything. Because I always like the non-watcher's opinion of who a star is and who's not. Did I tell you Jess is in love with Dusty Rhodes?
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that a couple of times.
She's fallen in love with that man. And like every now and then, like I'll be watching Dusty clip and like she's like giggling. She's like, this man had so much charisma.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what a special person, you know? And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's why he's Dusty, you know? But
soul, baby.
Ooh, he looks like someone's barbecuing. That's the best one. When he went to 1989, he's doing those vignettes when he went to WWF, and he's like the average man, and he's a plumber.
Average man.
Is your toilet bubbling? Is your sink gobbling? I was like, and then he goes and he's like plunging like the crap, and he's like, ooh, he looks like someone's barbecuing in here. I'm like, what a great line.
Is that what he was called? That was that the song? He's just an average man.
He's just an average man. Yeah, he's a union guy. He's making good money as a plumber, dude.
Doing the things an average man does.
That's it. Like he's a gas station attendant. You know, the time when you could make a living and being a gas station attendant. Isn't that amazing?
That's wild. I had a great time watching Collision last night. My wife was also watching it with me, but like not intently. So the show starts out, CM Punk comes out, boom, she goes. 2 minutes later, she's like, "Oh, he's back. When did he come back?" I was like, 2 minutes ago. Check that.
That's hysterical. That's hysterical. Where do you want to go? Because there's so much to talk about.
All right. Well, let's start out with addressing another super chat. Michael Redden, $10. Decompose yourself, boys. Happy Father's Day.
I'm decomposing.
Thank you, Michael.
I'm decomposing, dude. If you missed that, it's a little inside. You guys should show up for the pre-shows, I'm telling you, because a lot of the bizarro bits that we end up doing on this, there's pretense to it. Also, before we go into news, I do want to address. Last week, we announced the show's no longer on Observer, right?
Right.
And
wait, we're not?
We're not? And I thought it was like, I was like so clear, like, dude, it's all good. Like, we're all cool. Like, there's no problems.
Yeah.
Nobody got kicked off. There was no problem at all. It's just they're going in a different direction. We're being behind a subscription model for everything that they're doing, which has always been their model. They tried to go do the free stuff. I think they probably will eventually do free content again, but they want to go pay model. And we've done the show for 12 years, Rich and I, and we didn't want to take the show and put it behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with a paywall. I'm all for it, but I just didn't think it was fair to the audience. And Rich didn't. Listen, it's both of us, right? We both decide these things. We didn't feel that we want to take it behind a paywall. We thought it was unfair to people that have committed to the show for years. And I didn't want to ask for money. from the audience. I mean, when you guys give it, we appreciate it. We got $30 here. I'll take more. I'll take more money. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with the super chats. I'm cool with doing that kind of stuff. I'm cool with doing some sponsorships. I didn't feel that it would work for us. We very much enjoy the audience. We love that you guys hang out with us on a Sunday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. And these are things that Rich and I always talk about, and it's a blessing to do this with all of you. It's a crazy, crazy world, and the show is kind of picked up. With that said, I am working on something. While there's Rich. He's frozen. He's dying. Look at that. He's a robot. Are you back? No, he is not back.
Here, let's go there.
There we go. Oh, there he is. You're back. Do you want to reconnect? I decomposed.
And recomposed.
But I am working on something with a team of people. I'm not ready to say what it is. It'll probably happen this summer. You'll probably get more info the next couple of weeks, but I'm working on something, and I don't want it to be half-assed. And that's all I'll say. But there's no beef with Observer. There's no problems. I don't think I could have been any clearer. I'm still doing Wrestling Observer Live, which Rich is on with me today. After the show, We're going to be recording it. I want everyone to know, like, there's no, we didn't leave there in a bad way. I don't know how that even became a conversation that, there's something problem going on. I talked to Tony. Tony Leader runs that whole thing. I talk to Tony every day. I talk to Brian regularly. I talk to Dave regularly. And Garrett and I are very good friends. There's no beef at all. I'll probably maybe we'll do like a Matmen special there. We'll do something there. Like the relationship is still there. It's just we're not posting it on their website because they've gone to a premium model. That's all.
That's it. That's all it is. And you know what? Half those guys probably didn't even know we left.
No, nobody knows we left. Yeah. Nobody knows. All right, but that's out of the way. Rich, where do you want to go?
All right, let's start with like I said at the top of the show, this is probably going to be, before the show, this is probably going to be a very CM Punk heavy episode. So earlier this week, there was a CM Punk ESPN interview. It was an article, and before it broke the internet. As it happens when anything CM Punk is mentioned, it's like, oh no, what's happening now? It seems like people are waiting for the other shoe to drop. But you know what? You read the article, right?
I read the article.
Nothing crazy.
Well, remember, this was not like an interview that was recorded and posted.
Right.
So, certain things don't come off the same way as if you're listening to it. And I think that kind of helped in this case. But I don't think there was anything that was like outright insane. No. He said that he apologized to Tony for the all-out media scrum and regrets how he handled the situation. Regarding Hangman, he said he went outside what they discussed backstage before the go-home promo. Which, dude, by the way, it happens. Yeah. That happens. You're emotional. You're feeling something. You're not. These aren't, written promos like WWE. Maybe that's a little bit of an argument on why their system works better for them, because stuff like this doesn't happen. Right. Which was explained as retaliation for Punk trying to get Colt Cabana fired, which Punk denied. They also, I believe he also said that Hangman chipped his tooth.
Well, the way he explained it was he went into the match all nervous, thinking and anxious, thinking, oh, is this guy going to take advantage of me? And he said it effed him up. So he didn't have a good match. He got really paranoid about it. And then if you look at that one, chop, it hits him kind of high. Oh, big. High on the neck and high, almost on the mouth. And that's where he may have chipped his tooth, right?
Yeah. So, listen, it's a physical sport.
Yeah.
At the time, he didn't think the scrum or the brawl after was a big deal. He blames the media for spreading the story. When trying to speak with the Bucks or Kenny about the brawl, according to our notes,
It's a man's ear.
It's a man's ear. Dude, that's the problem. You know what this was? He had the idea for the man's ear. They had the idea for the bro.
Yep.
It became a huge problem. When trying to speak to the Young Bucks and Kenny about the brawl months later, he still was just referred to lawyers. I could tell you that he did reach out to Kenny. I know that. I don't know how well that conversation went, but I know that he had reached out to him. So, listen, we're going to get into this because this is leading into something totally different, and I hope it is.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get to that when we get to the notes. Get to the show. AEW reached a deal to air Collision on UK TV. The show will air on Wednesdays. All right, whatever.
Awesome.
AEW Collision team was announced. It was Kevin Kelly that is the lead, joined by Nigel McGuinness and Jim Ross as an analyst. Last night was a little wonky with the commentators. I thought that the audio level for the commentators was very low. Jim Ross, he had a fall yesterday or the day before. Terrible black eye. He sounded terrible. He got better towards the end, but like there was something going on, obviously.
He did apologize. I don't think he should have apologized, but he did apologize for it.
And he said he's stepping away for a little bit to heal.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll be back soon. Elton John, Saturday Night is all right for fighting was the official theme of the show. Tony Khan announced it, and I feel kind of bad because I had this on Wednesday. I sent it to you guys, and I posted on Friday. And I just wrote Saturday Night's all right for fighting, and then literally 30 minutes later, Tony posted it. I was like, I took his thunder.
This guy.
I took Tony's thunder. Very cool theme. I very much liked it, and it kind of set the mood when you were starting it.
100%.
And then what else do we have here, Rich?
Looks like AEW fired BJ Whitmer following a domestic violence arrest. Apparently, he was arrested Sunday for first-degree strangulation and second-degree burglary. He was heavily involved in the women's division. That is unfortunate.
Yeah. Terrible.
Why you got to go burgle?
Yeah. Why do you need to strangle?
I don't got to strangle people.
That's crazy. First degree strangulation and second degree burglary. That's a difficult word to say.
Burglary?
Yeah.
Burgle.
He's a burglar.
Additionally,
go
ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Jimmy Jacobs was hired as a producer after leaving Impact. No word of this was reactionary to the BJ Whitmer situation.
Jimmy Jacobs was fired from WWE. Do you remember that? Because he took that photo with the Elite.
Yep. Yeah. Full circle, huh?
Full circle. WWE TV rights negotiation window closes with NBCU and Fox. They are now free to negotiate with other parties, including streaming services. A lot of this Disney conversation has come up again due to the Endeavor merger and the relationship between Disney, ESPN, and UFC. There are conversations that if they were to go there, they would air it on FX, which is a Fox property, but it's not because when they sold off assets to Disney, this was one of them. So this could be a product on FX. So we'll see what happens. Also, WWE announces Payback 2023 for September 3rd in Pittsburgh. This is Labor Day weekend, the night before All Out.
Pittsburgh.
All right. Where do we go? We go into Dynamite, or you want to go into the United Center Collision?
Let's just do Collision, man.
All right, let's do it.
That's the hot topic, baby.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, you know what? I take that back. Let's talk about the end of Dynamite.
Oh yeah, the end of Dynamite. Kenny made a run-in.
Well, the match: Young Bucks and Hangman versus Mox, Claudio, and Wheeler.
Yes.
Right? This ending to me was a very classic, Monday Night Raw style ending.
It was, yeah. It was total chaos. Nice chaotic ending.
Very chaotic. Kenny Omega makes a run in. Takeshita comes out. Will Ospreay out of nowhere jumps Kenny Omega from behind, leaving him laying ahead of Forbidden Door. Really, really felt like a go-home show.
Yeah, who else showed up here? Somebody else showed up.
Zack Sabre Jr. was on.
Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston
Eddie
showed up. Yeah, Eddie showed up in this too. So, all right, cool. They're setting it up, and Kenny Omega. They announced a lot of these matches now. You know, we're getting somewhat of a card. We got like 4 solid matches here for Forbidden Door. Pay-per-view is next week, and we don't have the rest of the card.
Listen, I think we're going to get some nutty surprises. And also, with the 3 matches announced, that could probably take up the entire 3-hour show. Give those guys an hour each. I'd be happy with that.
Logistically, they're all not even going to be in the U.S. until probably Tuesday or early this week. So I'm guessing that's what they're waiting for, to build up and do it last minute.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what Punk's match is yet, if he's going to be on the card.
We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
We have no idea if he's going to be there. So speaking of Punk, let's go into this, Rich.
All right,
AEW Collision debut.
Oh, boy. It happened.
It happened.
AEW Collision from the United Center live.
First time CM Punk has wrestled in the United Center.
Wow, okay. Shocking, too. I did not know that stat.
Yep.
Comes to the ring with his boots around his neck, carrying a red bag, which has his AEW title in it.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. He had the shaved head look, which to me means he's going to become a heel at some point. Arguably, he is a heel.
I mean, depending on what side you stand on, right?
Right. He got something that I feel like is very rare. There was an F the Elite chant.
Yep.
As he was doing his promo. Great promo. Said people could call him whatever they want. Said David Zaslav calls
David
him
Zaslav.
One Bill Phil, because he's one of the true articles in a business full of counterfeit bucks.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Zaslav is the CEO of Warner Discovery.
There you go.
Yeah. So, he one Bill Phil were in a business filled with counterfeit bucks. So that was one of the first. There were a lot of shots against the Elite here, and I tweeted, and it's wild, dude. Like, there are people that are so into what they like, where they cannot even allow themselves a moment of, hey, maybe the other side is okay too. Right?
Right.
Same thing. This goes for politics. This goes for sports. It's very tribal.
Everything.
And I'm watching this promo and I'm like, man, there's a reason why this guy made it so far in the business, and it has to do a lot with this. What a fantastic talker. Very, the cult of personality thing kind of goes in hand with this. He is a charismatic, nearly cult leader type leader. You listen to him when he speaks because there's something there. Do you want to talk about it factor? This guy has it.
Right.
There's no denying that. Whether you like him personally or not, that promo was fantastic, that opener. So,
yeah.
What did you think of the shots against the Elite? You think now this is more like, hey, we're working here?
It does. Again, these guys aren't dumb, right? Regardless of what we may hear goes on that may or may not go on behind the scenes, there is so much money to be made with some kind of Punk and Elite match, right? Yeah. Maybe let tensions die down even more and then do it, because people are still going to be talking about it. People are still very hurt for some reason from the CM Punk thing, which I find very fascinating. Sometimes people like stuff a little too much. It gets to them,
Yeah.
What I thought was cool is he did the counterfeit bucks thing, and then he talked about his belt being in the bag, and then looks at the camera and goes, basically, are you ready for me, Max? Or what do you think about that, Max? Right? I would love it if at Forbidden Door, MJF beats Tanahashi, and then you just hear the Punk music and he's standing at the top of the ramp. That's it.
Yeah, they could do that. By the way, I was feeling good during this show. Okay, I was feeling really good.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, dude, he brought muffins. He's gonna take the muffins and throw them in the crowd.
Imagine if that was his opening salvo. He just sat down, cross-legged, on the ring, opened the bag, just started eating muffins, and that was it. And just grabbed the mic with his mouth completely full and just started talking. Also,
yeah.
Also, I thought at one point he was gonna throw the microphone into the crowd, and
I thought so too. Yeah.
I was like, you know what? If I was a pro wrestler, that would be my move. I would do a promo, say some cool shit, and just effing lob the microphone right into the crowd.
Hysterical. Yeah. So he apparently had the title belt in the bag. He never lost it.
Yeah, never lost it.
And they were kind of in the business of interim champions. So do they? I mean, is he going to look at this as he's the actual champion? And dude, you could do a ladder match. Why don't they do that ladder match? Him and Max.
I don't want to see CM Punk on a ladder. No ladders.
You don't want to see him on the ladder?
No ladders for a guy that gets hurt in odd ways.
Yeah, they were very safe with him. Yeah. Very, very safe with him. So he grabbed his bag he was carrying in the ring, like you said. He hinted that he believes he's still the champion. But I thought, and this is when Jess was like, oh, wow, this guy's good, right? He said, tell me when I'm telling lies. And that was a repeat over and over again in the promo. He went back to that. Tell me when I'm telling lies. And I thought it was done so well. It was
done so well. I couldn't remember it this morning, and I was like, what was he saying? Show me the money? Give me the money.
Show me the money. Yeah. I loved it. Thought it was great. Crowd was into it. But now the question is, okay, you got to be leading to something eventually.
Yes.
Okay. This is the biggest match these guys could do in this company. Biggest money match. When I say money, obviously gate or whatever matters, but TV viewership also matters. And this could create another boom for them. This could create a bigger buzz for them. Also, you're in a contract year. There's a reason why CM Punk is back. And there's a reason why he brought up Zaslav in that conversation. I talk to people from Warner regularly. A lot of them are my friends. A lot of them are people I go to dinners with. They understand how much weight this guy carries. And obviously, I would imagine there was some pressure going to Tony to make this work.
Right.
You don't have too many CM Punk. I'll talk about it later. I don't want to expose a conversation I had in private with somebody, but a wrestler. And the conversation was last night. We were, and this is one of the cool things of this, Rich, like this thing that we do, right? Like I'm very blessed by all this, and I'm super humble about what Rich and Rich too, both of us. I'll speak for Rich here. We're both very humbled by the fact that people love this show.
Yes,
there's a couple really cool moments. One, the fact that I get to do this with my best friend every fucking week, and we get to hang out and talk wrestling and do this bullshit. Two, it's given me opportunities to take my kids to the Garden for like a very cool VIP experience where they meet the wrestlers, they meet Cody. There's like a cocktail hour. I mean, to give my kids that, worth every penny, right? Everything that I've ever invested in this, worth it. And three, the fact that I could, have private conversations with some really well-known wrestlers during a wrestling show and just talk about what's happening and to be educated. Very cool.
Yeah.
Like that 16-year-old kid in me that was like watching ECW and tape trading. Like that kid is loving this. But last night I was talking to somebody and it was, okay, well, if it's not Punk, who is it?
Right.
Like who is the guy that brings media attention and brings eyeballs? Who is it? Who's available? Nobody.
Well, that's the question, right? Who's available and who is a draw and who would put eyes on the TV? Were you talking to Hogan?
Yeah, brother.
And he was like, "It's me, brother. What are you talking about?
It's me, brother. I'm back." Who is that guy? He does not exist unless you have, Cena or Edge or, somebody with generational crossover attention.
Well, for this era of wrestling fans, it's Punk, right? I really don't see anybody else who could make the needle move like that in this modern landscape. Unless it, for example, it would be a coup if Cena went to AEW, but I think that would make the sponsors and the networks more happy than the fans.
It would be a coup if who went where?
if Cena went to AEW.
I mean, that would be the biggest, right? That would be one of the biggest coups ever.
But I think that would benefit the investors and the sponsors and the networks more than the fans. I feel like the fans would be like kind of like iffy on that, right? Like AEW fans, if they saw a John Cena, like John Cena's all elite, you know, like I feel like it would be mixed with like a typical Cena reaction, right? Like a half and half.
I don't know. I'm curious about that too. I don't know. You never know. You never know. But you know, it's a very different audience. It's an older audience. You know, one of the conversations I was having with this person last night was, okay, listen, they have this really passionate core of 1 million people.
Yeah.
1 million plus, because it is 1 million plus. I'm not looking at the live viewership number. I'm looking at DVR +3, +7. You know, they do get over 1 million people that watch regularly. And WWE, you know, over 3 million people are watching SmackDown. Over 2 million people are watching Raw. You know, it's not this small live viewership that you watch. And then if you add up all the unique metrics for the month, you're talking millions.
Yeah.
But one thing that AEW does not do is cater towards a younger audience.
Right.
And eventually they have to, because we all forget, how old were we when we got into wrestling?
Exactly.
Right? How many of us got into wrestling in our 20s? Not many.
I think there's a good chunk of people that got into wrestling in their 20s. I also think with the AEW audience the way it is, I feel like a lot of people got into wrestling well into their 30s because they were like, oh, what's this cool shit that everybody's talking about? You know,
I think there is that. Yeah, I think there is that.
Yeah.
I think internet culture brought that on, right? I think there's a lot of internet culture has brought on a older, more... I don't. It's a different audience, very different audience. But I think that's still a fraction of it, to be honest. I think the majority of viewers come from starting off as a casual viewer. You start off, you know, just liking whatever that big guy is, like my kids. You know, that's how you start, and then you go into teenagehood and you like a little bit of the aggressive stuff. You know, AEW, are they attempting to capitalize on the disenfranchised teenager that's bored with WWE? Are they trying to capitalize on the disenfranchised 30-year-old? Like, listen, dude, I'm 40 next year. Yeah. I'm a dinosaur when it comes to viewership. I'm a dinosaur. Yeah, key demo. Yeah, but you know what? I'm aging out of that key demo. Are they replenishing me?
Right. See, that was
going into a live read for Gatorade, but
yeah.
You know, are there riches and dangers being created at a younger age? I think for AEW's case, not so much. I think WWE realizes that they need to do that mixed blend of getting the kids and also the teenagers and then continuing that growth. I think for AEW right now, they need to figure out, okay, what is the show's identity?
Yeah, and you know what? It's still a new company, and they're doing so gangbusters. What was it, 4 years?
For AEW, yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, about 4 years, right? So like, they're doing so good, and it's like they legitimize themselves right away.
Yeah.
And kind of going back to like the older wrestling fan, like I've met so many people who were like, oh yeah, I got into, and I've said this ad nauseum, I got into wrestling because my buddy who loves wrestling turned me on to this thing called the Bullet Club.
Yeah, a ton of people got into it for there. Yeah.
A ton of people got into it through there, and then they stuck around. And I know a few people who even kind of went backwards, where they started with the New Japan stuff and just ended up becoming like big WWE fans because of the bigness of the production.
Yeah, man. I think there's an obvious blend here that goes beyond, you know, what I like and what you like, and what is better for the company. You know, it's a balance here. But yeah, go ahead.
I think you answered your own question. Like, if you had the choice, if somebody said, "Hey, we're gonna give you 4 tickets. You're gonna take your wife and kid. You're gonna sit front row at AEW, or you're gonna sit front row at WWE." Like, what would you choose?
Me personally?
Yeah, you.
I'm choosing for my kids. I'm choosing WWE.
Exactly. You know, like that's not even a question, right?
That's not even a question. No, because they know those characters. That's what the kids are talking about in school. They would enjoy AEW, but you know, WWE is what they know right now, and eventually maybe they'll get into AEW.
But it's more kid friendly too.
It is more kid friendly, yeah. All right. What else was on this show?
Luchasaurus with Christian Cage defeated Wardlow to win the title. Wardlow seemed to have had it won until Christian smashed a camera over his head behind the ref's back. I did like the shot of Christian holding up the title instead of Luchasaurus.
Yeah, so I mean that's an interesting program they're doing, right? Because it was all Christian with that title, so obviously they're aiming towards some sort of split here between the two. All right, I kind of liked it. I thought Luchasaurus was very Kane-ish in that entrance with all the red everywhere, the red up the set. Let's talk about the set for a second. Love the set.
Loved it too. Yeah, big time.
The animation during the show on that set makes it look a little 3D-ish. Gives it a little depth because it's reflecting off the stage, off the floor. Thought it was great. The red ropes, CM Punk in there immediately. I was like, oh, look, Monday Night Raw.
It was very cool. It was very cool. This next match was a banger. Andrade El Idolo defeated Buddy Matthews with Julia Hart. The crowd was so into it, right?
Yeah.
Both guys were selling nonstop. Both guys were pulling out all the stops. And they both used each other's significant others submission moves. Great.
Yeah, he did the Riptide, and Andrade went into a figure 4 and then converted it into the figure 8 and 1. Loved it. The crowd really popped for that. They very, very much enjoyed seeing that. Listen, Andrade's a great talent. Yeah. Buddy's a great talent, and this is what we've been saying, right? Where are the singles matches? Everybody's in a trio on Dynamite because they need to get people on TV for recognition. The video game, merchandise, toys, recognition on TV. You know, these are all things that they're working on. Having a second show now will allow them to have these singles matches, which is great.
I believe in that CM Punk article, he mentioned a similar thing where he was like, Collision is full of guys who are hungry and haven't had much TV time, so it's going to be sink or swim for them. And this is a perfect example, you know? Like, when was the last time you saw like Andrade have a match like this, or Buddy Matthews?
Yeah, people are motivated too. You know, it's something new.
Yeah,
it's something new, and they understand the importance of this. Mm-hmm. Tony Schiavone in the ring right now for me. I'm rewatching it. This was the first time Tony was on a Saturday wrestling show on TNT in over 20-something years.
45 years.
In 66 years? When is the last time Tony was on a Saturday night show? Love it.
1942.
1942. Wow. Tony's looking good for his age.
Well, when was the last Saturday night's the WCW Saturday night? When was the last one of those?
It's WCW Saturday Night. It was 2001.
Right? Did they go right to the end with that? I can't remember.
I think that was the last show they did was a Saturday night because they had pre-recorded it. Yeah, so like WCW was done on Monday, and then they still had to run a Saturday show. So we'll see. Very cool. Very, very cool for Saturday. I thought Andrade looked great. I thought Buddy looked great here. Fantastic.
Yeah,
now we got Miro. Tony Nese with Smart Mark Sterling. Miro comes out. He looks $1 million.
He does.
They booked him to be a monster. His theme, I love.
Yes.
Instantly when I see Miro, I smell cigarette smoke.
Why is that?
PTSD from my childhood. My grandfather with his shady business with the Bulgarians. All these random Bulgarians showing up at my house at 2 a.m. to pick up envelopes.
Yeah.
I smell cigarettes every time he comes out. He looked great, man. He looked freaking great. Again, he's another guy. They haven't really done much with him. But now, a guy that's recognizable. You know Miro. You know Rusev.
Right, exactly. And also, it's interesting, too, because like you look at Tony Nese, and he's like, you're like, oh, that's a big dude full of muscles. And then Miro shows up, and you're like, wow, that guy's like even bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Jeff Jarrett. Let's talk about this.
This is all you, Andrew.
Jeff Jarrett. Great. Jeff Jarrett said that he signed for a concession stand brawl against Mark Briscoe. 46 years to the day of his family's promoting the infamous Tupelo concession stand brawl. They invented the concession stand brawl. Okay. Freaking Double J in a concession stand brawl with Mark Briscoe. When did you think that match was happening?
Exactly. I'm here for it, and I can't wait to see it. Why not? Does that mean Jeff Jarrett's on Collision? or was that just like a promo for it?
That was the one promo for Dynamite they had on the show.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wild
that we're seeing this.
I want to see Jeff Jarrett wrestle CM Punk.
I want to see that too.
for the bang.
You know what? They would have a banger. They would have an old school banger, those two.
I think so. I think they would have a classic wrestling match. About, as they say, Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale defeated the Outcasts, Ruby Soho and Tony Storm. And then we missed also. There was a full-blown Acclaim promo.
Yeah, I'm watching that right now. Actually, I'm at that point right now. Look at these, which was good Long Island boys with daddy ass.
Didn't they hint at being on both shows?
Yeah, they did. And I think some people are going to be doing that. I think there's going to be a lot of these guys that are on both shows, and it's better for them. Yeah. You know, you want to get these guys over, like the Acclaim. They're young, they're hungry. Yeah. People are really into them. Might as well utilize them on both shows as much as they can do it. Tony Schiavone scissoring in the ring.
I couldn't stop laughing last night. I couldn't stop laughing at Billy Gunn's outfit also.
Oh, fantastic.
That's great. It's just great.
That guy's a monolith. He's a monolith.
Yeah. Yeah. He was on the earth before humans were invented.
Yeah. Is he part of the Alien franchise?
He's the
Is he a Prometheus?
He was the monolith from 2001 Space Odyssey.
Is that what
that the primitive creatures were worshiping?
Can I tell you, that movie Prometheus, I thought it could have been something so much better than it was.
Well, this is about to go off the rails, Andrew. There is a 15 to 20 minute unearthed script reading of what could have happened at the end of that movie.
I've seen it. I've read it. I've read it. I went down an Alien rabbit hole. I don't like the Alien franchise. I'm not a big Alien fan.
Nuts. You're nuts.
No, I'm not. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's not like I like Predator. I like the two Predators, and then it fell apart. It just never. The first one was great. Second one was even better. I love the second one. He's in the inner city.
Mm-hmm.
He's hunting down drug dealers. Fantastic.
The Aliens is awesome.
I love the backstory of like the origin of humans and how it was made, and like the last couple Aliens I watched and I enjoyed more. But I thought I'm like, man, this origin story, I love it.
Yeah,
they took everything out.
I watched the first Alien like religiously, pretty much. Like at least like once every 2 months, I'll put it on and just be like, "Yep, I'm watching Alien again."
Do you know another movie that my father forced me to watch over and over again?
Alien.
Red Sonja.
Really? That's interesting.
My dad loved Red Sonja. Isn't that bonkers?
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. I could see that. You know, there's a big lady.
Big lady.
Schwarzenegger shows up, but not as Conan because they didn't have the rights to Conan.
Yeah, but movie. He was Conan.
He was supposed to be a Conan, you know, but he was something else in it.
But isn't it part of the franchise though? Isn't Conan the Barbarian part of the franchise for Red Sonja?
Not really. Like,
yeah, Red Sonja appeared in Conan the Barbarian, the first appearance.
It's a rights thing. For the movie, it was a rights thing. I think even now it's a rights thing. Because of the intellectual property, like I'm not sure if it's public domain yet.
How tall is Brigitte Nielsen?
I think she was like 6'1".
She's from Denmark.
Yeah.
She's a tall lady. Very tall lady. Yeah, my father loved Red Sonja.
I was on VHS. Also on TV.
Over and over again?
Also on TV like forever.
Yeah.
Right?
WPIX,
like
the movie of the week. Red Sonja.
Yeah. It was Red Sonja, and then they'll show Conan the Destroyer a bunch. And like Police Academy.
Yeah, that's another one my father loved.
Did he force you to watch Police Academy?
I actually enjoyed Police Academy with him. Yeah. That was one that I did like. And main event, CM Punk and I don't know how we went into that. CM Punk and FTR defeated Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Samoa Joe. The crowd was bonkers for this.
Oh, yeah.
Great tease for Joe and Punk halfway in the match. Punk did not do much, okay?
No.
They were very careful with him, which is great. You know what?
Yeah.
He doesn't need to do. Less is more.
I think after that first gigantic chop from Joe, he was like, you know what? I'm just going to walk away a little bit.
Joe knocked him back into, wherever he lives, back to his house.
Exactly.
With that chop. Knocked him back to his condo.
He sent him back to the ECW arena.
He went back in time. It's 2005. He's debuting at the Hammerstein.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The finish was Punk in a coquina clutch before FTR was able to save him very late. They hit the big rig and shatter machine on Juice, and then Punk got the GTS for the pin.
They sold me a ticket. They sold me a ticket because he was going out. It goes, oh my God, he's going to lose. And then I was like, and then FTR got the save. I was like, that was well done.
Yeah, very well
Very
done.
well done.
But a lot of people were expecting a major show ending. And we
Yes.
didn't get that. There was no major show ending. There was no Kenta, which has been rumored. Kenta's on the card for Forbidden Door with him. I don't know. Do they do Kenta? Do they not? Does it matter to anybody except for people that watched ROH in 2005? Does it matter to anybody? I don't know. I don't know how much Kenta means to the audience. I want to see it. I would love to see Kenta and Punk, but I don't know if I have some sort of nostalgic connection that people don't.
At this point, don't you think that that there's a possibility he might not even be on Forbidden Door?
That's possible.
Because they're going to have one day. They're going to have one. They would have to do the build Saturday night and then do the match on Sunday.
They could do that.
Because they
could do an impromptu thing. He could show up.
That might be what.
Or maybe this is part of that problem where, who are the Bucks facing? Are they on that card?
They're not announced yet either. I think all that's going to be cleared up this week. Like I said, a lot of these New Japan guys got to get in town before they can start.
Listen, also the buy rate for this show, right? Like the buy rate is sitting, like AEW consistently does around 120,000 to 140,000 buys. If you put Punk on this for his first pay-per-view back, what does that mean for the buy rate?
Right.
Or do you put Punk at All In as the first pay-per-view that he returns to? What does that mean? By the way, the Bullet Club Gold shirts are so effing cool.
They are great.
I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna order one of those because they had a gold Bullet Club shirt in like 2016. And it was like very limited and you couldn't get it. This is a very cool shirt. I like this team. I think Jay White looks like $1 million. Juice is great too, but Jay White is the guy.
Yeah. As Jim Ross said, he looks like a racehorse.
Sassafras, he looks like a racehorse.
This is for Kenzie Abbott in the chat room. He said, hello, Queens Boys. Shout out the new Bullet Club War Dogs theme. Apparently, he wrote and performed it.
Really? What is the Bullet Club War Dogs theme? Is that the theme?
That's the new Bullet Club Gold theme, I think.
Is it? Yeah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Where's this line? Who wrote this?
Kenzie Abbott.
Kenzie Abbott. I wrote and performed the song. Oh, crap. Kenzie, you did it. That's awesome.
It'd be funny if he didn't and just really liked the song. And
yeah. And I'm getting very excited here.
He's just trolling us.
He's just trolling us. Kenzie. Very, very cool. Love
very
it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But look at this. We'll still give him credit for it.
We have some talented people in the audience.
I think, you know what it is? I also wrote Bullet for Carl Anderson. So, you know what I think it is? I think this is the audience wanting too much. Because look at what you had in that main event. You had CM Punk and Samoa Joe after God knows how many years, and you had CM Punk taking on a form of Bullet Club. Like, that's enough for me. I didn't need there to be somebody else showing up, like Hornswoggle popping out from under the ring with like the shillelagh, Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the set looked great though. I'm watching this set right now. Back on track. Yeah, great main event. Loved it. It was a lot of fun. I was having some really, really good wine. And I took a really, really good edible, and I felt like $1 million effing bucks last night.
Did you try that Chardonnay I brought over?
Yeah, I had it the other day.
Good?
Yeah, it was good.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Let's see.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Where are we going?
What are we doing? Where are we going?
What day is it? All right. Let's go into anything else that I need to address. Oh, you know what I do need to address? So I bought a PS5 from Joey Image, professional wrestler, Joey Image, retired Joseph Imagination. Can I tell you? This guy ripped me off.
Oh yeah.
I opened that freaking box. I opened that box. Guess what's inside? Just rocks.
Fish heads.
Just fish heads, dude. He just put a bunch of fish heads in the box. I sold it to me. No, thank you, Joey, for the PS5. It was wonderful.
You hook it up yet or no?
Yeah, I hooked it up yesterday, and I hooked up the new TV.
Very nice.
I got Street Fighter 6.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably gonna get. I gotta order WWE 2K 23. And
What's your? Are you gonna be online? Are you gonna challenge people to Street Fighter? What's your?
I'm gonna make my character. I'm gonna make us.
Yeah.
Someone needs to make us sure. and share. Is that a possibility? I'm so out of it. I haven't played a wrestling game in like 20 years.
If you can do a creative character, and then I think you could share it or upload it to some kind of marketplace, and people could download it.
Oh, cool! That's awesome. I want to be big and jacked. Make me into a Jeff Hardy.
Yes,
a gothic Jeff Hardy. I want to be a gothic Jeff Hardy. I want to be every indie wrestler from 2001 and 2002. Skinny, gothic, Marilyn Manson-like with Jeff Hardy arms.
And Fight Forever, we got to get.
Yeah. I ordered that already. That's pre-ordered.
Awesome. I'm excited. To bring. We only did an episode of Game Men once, and that was like 3 years ago. And
Game Men. Yeah.
And what did we play? We played Streets of Rage, right?
We played. Yeah, Streets of Rage. Which wait a minute. There's another beat 'em up that came out that I want to play.
Shredder's Revenge, the Turtles one. Or no, you have that, right?
Yeah, there was something else that was coming out. I was like, oh wow, they're redoing this. It was a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Is it Streets? Is it Double Dragon?
I don't think so. What you're saying does sound familiar though. I know they released Streets of Rage on the PS5 to download. Yeah. Mortal Kombat 1's coming out.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Very, very cool.
All right, what do you want to go into? You want to do questions? You want to go into the Bloodline?
Let's go into...
Probably briefly talk about the Bloodline stuff, right?
Yes. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm getting some news while we're doing this, and I'm trying to confirm it. Okay. Let's go into questions, and then... What do you want to do, Rich? Let's go into questions, and then that's it? Or Bloodline. Let's go into Bloodline. Bloodline,
and questions, and then that's it. We have 15 minutes.
All
right. So at the end of Smackdown, you had your Bloodline segment that saw Jey Uso confront Roman Reigns.
Dude, that was great. I mean, listen, so different, right? Like there is a difference between these two shows, and it's fine to appreciate and like both of it. I do like the Bret Hart tributes of these guys. They're very obsessed with Bret Hart. Yeah. They're all a bunch of little hearts.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about CMFTR.
We're talking about the Bloodline right now.
No, I know, but I'm watching them on my TV. I thought, dude, such a different, when you compare the two from Friday to Saturday, right? Such a different show. AEW's doing pro wrestling, and these guys are trying to come up with captivating television stories with wrestling mixed in. They hit something here. They hit a home run with the Bloodline feud. People are very into it. It is not a I mean, listen, in terms of, there's only 7 stories you could ever tell, right? Isn't that the thing?
I think it's 3.
Is it 3? I heard it was 7.
Like 3. Okay.
Eric Bischoff said it was 7. And they're right. And this is it's a classic story of betrayal and family and greed and I thought they did a fantastic job. Every week, every step of the way of this Bloodline stuff has been a hit. I do fear a little bit for Sammy and Kevin being
a little bit, right?
A little bit. I do fear that, but I think they, Sammy's made, and I think you could put him in a world title position at this point and really do it the right way that you could have done with Danielson, with Sammy. With that said,
go ahead.
What did you think?
This is going to all loop in.
Yeah, this is all looping in. With that said, the current Bloodline story, how far do you think it could go?
I think it could keep going because this isn't the end. Like, if you watch SmackDown, you saw that Roman got laid out. You know, like Roman got super kicked to hell, right, by his cousins. Now, like you were saying about Kevin and Sammy, I feel like that takes a little bit away from them, you know, because
Yeah.
they supposed to be the guys to like finally get the win over all these dudes, right? Not the
Yeah.
case right now. Now it looks like, you know, what's it going to be? Is it going to be Roman and Solo versus like the cousins? You know, are you going to get like a 4-way match where like Jimmy and Jay team up with Kevin and Sammy? You know, I wouldn't
They
mind
set
seeing
it up
that.
already.
Yeah.
They set up
so,
for Money in the Bank. They set it up already. They're
Yeah.
calling it the Bloodline Civil War.
So, you know, who's going to be Roman's partners? Are we going to get new
It's gonna be-
people?
I mean,
It's going to be Solo and Roman versus the Usos.
No, but I'm
Can
saying
you-
at the end of that, what happens?
Yeah, what happens at the end? Yeah. Does Roman lose? And also, here's the other thing, Rich. Like, okay, so you have Jimmy and Jay, right? You have Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah.
Do you make one of them the guy? Do you have him beat Roman and he becomes the next? I mean, they got it. Before they
tough.
replaced Roman as that guy, like anything that they do moving forward, right? Anything they do, once they take that title off of Roman, and I'm saying this not in a negative way towards the person that's going to win that title, it will feel like a step down because they have told you that this man is unbeatable. He really is the unbeatable guy. You know, Brock had that, and we spoke about that, but Brock had weaknesses. You know, Brock lost in 30 seconds to Bill Goldberg. Brock had lost before. There has been nobody in 30 years because, I mean, wrestling changed. Who's the last guy to hold a title this long? It was Hogan.
Right.
And Hogan was an unbeatable monster, but Hogan had some flaws. You know, you could get through to Hogan.
Yeah.
You could rip his cross off, and then your hand burns, and you do one of these. I got to be careful. Guys, my shorts are very short, okay?
Yeah. Super tight also.
They're super tight, and they're super short, and it's all thighs right now.
You don't want to strain your sack right now.
Oh, it's like I'm wearing just a T-shirt and nothing on the bottom.
Nothing at all.
Sorry, Rich. I went into that.
No, it's fine. You know what I want to see? This is and I feel like this is going to give you chills. I want them to do something unprecedented, right? I want a fatal 4-way for Roman's title. Roman, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy, and Jay. Fatal 4-way, right? Jimmy and Jay pin Roman at the same time, and they have to share the belt. Freebird rule with the world title.
Oh man, I don't know if they would ever do that.
That'd be cool though.
I'd be interested to see what happens. The twins?
That would get a lot of heat.
Of course it would. Of course it would. But you know, like here's the thing, right? Like anything would be a step down because how dominant Roman was. Right. I think we got to be okay with that. You know, or you really take the time to build and you build and you build and you build. You know, now there's an alternate universe. What if Cody did beat Roman, right? What would the story be here? The Bloodline story could still go on, but does it matter because he has the title? Does it matter more that he has 3 colorful title belts now? Every variant he's collected. It's like they're doing the Thanos thing.
Yeah.
He has all of them.
I think if Cody took that belt, the main storyline would still be the Bloodline. You know, I think that's how big it is, and it would have been a detriment to Cody.
Yeah, he would have been a secondary story here. So interesting.
That's fun. You want to do some questions?
Let's do some questions.
All right, guys. Let's see. We got a super chat from Mark Fiala. Love the show, guys. Did that show up on the screen? No, it didn't. Yeah. MG, can you
stand by?
Can you do it? Let's see what we got here.
Find the question. We should be able to click it on now. It should work.
We got another one from Schreier here. Would you book CMFTR versus Elite at MSG? Where would you get the biggest draw, in person or a TV pay-per-view?
Great question. Is the question not showing up?
Question's not showing up.
You know what? You know what? I got a caller here. Maybe we could ask him.
Well, there's another question. If that caller is who I think it is.
Yeah.
This is from Schreier. Can we get French Tony Khan to do a sociological deep dive on CM Punk and Collision? Thanks for the super chat.
Hold on. Let me get him on the phone. Hold on. Let me see. Rich, I can't have both of you on. Hold on.
All right. I'm leaving.
Tony, is that you?
Hello.
Hey, French Tony Khan, everybody. How are you, French Tony Khan?
I am great. Why do you persist on calling me by that moniker?
I mean, you are French.
I only exist in France.
Nowhere else?
Nowhere else. I never make travel plans.
How about for that other dastardly Tony Khan from Chicago?
Who?
Yeah, he doesn't exist, right?
I'm the man in the mirror.
The man in...
That Michael Jackson song was written about me.
You know what's a great Madonna song? I don't know if you know this, Tony. I don't know if you're a big Madonna fan. Bad Girl is one of my favorite songs by her.
How does that one go, Andrew Zarian?
I can't sing it. But Christopher Walken is in the music video.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, is he?
Very much so.
So we have a
question.
question.
My call today. Yes.
Yeah, we have a question for you here from Hashemi. Can French Tony Khan do a sociological deep dive on CM Punk and Collision? Were you happy with Collision?
Oh, very much so. I had a big, heavy hand in booking it.
Oh yeah. I
did change one thing though.
What did you change?
Ahead of the show, CM Punk pitched the idea of debuting as a Crocodile Dundee-esque character.
And you were not for it?
It was not approved. He kept wanting to call himself the Crocodile Master.
What do you think of
the CM stands for?
What do you think of his dog?
Oh, I love Larry. There's nothing wrong with Larry.
You like Larry? You're fine with the T-shirt? You're fine with the Larry poster on the United Center?
I am totally cool with that. I feel great. But part of the deal now is that CM Punk is my roommate. It is, speaking of Larry, it is a really oddball Larry David Leon situation.
It's a Larry David and Leon. So who's Leon and who's Larry? Are you Larry or he's Larry?
I'm Leon. I got to get.
You're Larry. You're Leon.
He's the Larry David in this situation. Did you not see the scrum?
I did see the scrum. And that was very Larry David-esque.
Complaining about everything.
He did complain about everything. He did like the muffins.
Loves the muffins. Also, a side note, you saw how I licensed the Elton John song, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Great job.
For the next episode of Collision, I am licensing the rights to the theme song from Blossom.
from Blossom? I got a situation. Is Joey Lawrence coming into AEW too?
Didn't he die?
No, Joey Lawrence is alive.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not? I'll make him all elite. I'll slap his face on one of those graphics.
So I very much enjoy the visual of you and CM Punk in a Larry David and Leon situation. However, I would love to see a Always Sunny spin of you and him as Frank and Charlie.
Who's who?
Oh, he's Frank. You're Charlie.
I can see that. We can make that work.
Yeah, that'd be excellent.
Also put him in that singlet.
Oh, yeah, the trash man.
I would love to see CM Punk in a singlet.
Yeah, I got another question here. I'm not a big CM Punk fan, but I thought everything he did last night was best for AEW. The title in the bag was a nice touch. Was it a title in the bag, Tony? French Tony? Can we confirm that? What was in that bag?
It was a title.
Okay.
But it was made of delicious croissants.
Oh, because we're in France.
Yes.
I got a couple more questions for you. I know. Listen, this international call is costing me a ton because this is an 800 number you're calling into.
Thank you for footing the bill. Also, side note, I do think Michael Montel Jordan Friedman versus CM Punk will happen.
Maxwell Jacob.
No, you're kidding me.
Yeah, it's Maxwell Jacob.
I've been calling him Montel Jordan for months now.
No, wrong MJ.
He keeps saying this is how we do it. It's very weird.
I know that you hired Will Washington, and I wanted to ask you this. He very much loves music. He's very big on it. He's a huge Mariah Carey fan. Would you license Mariah Carey for his theme song?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. What would his theme be?
The Christmas one. The Christmas
one.
Mariah Carey song.
That's the one.
Or the one with the ODB.
The one with the old dirty bastard. Perfect.
Yes.
Anything you want to add before I changed the...
ODB's a wrestler.
ODB the wrestler. Yes.
Not the Wu-Tang Clan man.
Not the Wu-Tang Clan man. Anything you want to say to your amazing audience?
Thank you for the support worldwide. I appreciate all your super chats. Very delicious. It keeps me in baguettes and Gruyere.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you,
Tony. Thank you.
Thank you. Bonjour.
Rich, you back? I had to flip the channel.
Yeah, I'm here. I caught the end of that.
You don't like that man.
He's okay. He's growing on me a little bit.
The cigarettes, though, are so much.
My chest hurts just listening to him.
Me too.
But I do like the idea of CM Punk trying to rebrand himself as Crocodile Dundee.
I do love that. Can you imagine that? He comes out with the hat.
Later.
40 years later, he's Crocodile Dundee's back. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
The knife.
The knife.
Knife.
You know, is it? That's how he says it, right? That's the whole thing. And he takes out like a machete.
Yeah,
and he starts chasing after people like he's in the Bronx. That's what he does. Machete attacks are on the rise here in New York City. I don't know if you guys know this.
Oh my God. We got one here from the Tantalizing Tony wrestling show.
Tantalizing Tony wrestling show. Go check it out. I've never heard of it, but I recommend you go check it out. Because it's a beautiful name. Sounds very dirty.
It sounds like it's on Queen's Public Access after 10:30 on a Friday night.
Dude, I got to tell you, what a fantastic name.
Let's see. If I'm not a big CM Punk fan, but I thought everything that he did last night was best for AEW. The title in the bag was a nice touch. MJF versus Punk will happen now.
They set seeds for everything. They planted seeds for everything that they're doing. So I would say that Adam Cole would be. I mean, you have Tanahashi, you have Adam Cole, and I guess then Punk.
Yeah, that's a good, listen, MJF is putting together, quite the library of work right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got one here from Balor Club Guy. What's up, my Matt man? What's up?
What up?
With Jay finally turning on Roman, this has to be leading towards Roman versus Jay at SummerSlam, right?
Yeah, I would imagine. I would imagine that they would do it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I want to get Kenzie Abbott to write a theme for us.
Yeah, the Matt Man.
Yeah, can we get like a nice theme? I'd love that. He's very talented. I do know that he. My brain didn't fire, and then I looked at his Twitter. I'm like, oh yeah, I knew this already.
Yeah,
very talented. Very, very talented.
You know the guy. He's a long time. He's a long timer.
Long time schmorl time. What's up? Jay and you want to see that Roman and Jay?
I would love to, but again, my fatal 4-way is my dream for SummerSlam, like the Bloodline fatal 4-way.
Yes.
And loser has to leave the family.
Loser leaves the family.
Loser is no longer the Rock's cousin.
Get out of the house, you loser. Go get a job.
Exactly. They all live together in one house, like all the Samoans.
Yeah. True story. All the Bullet Club live together. All the DX live together. CMFTR just bought a condo.
Oh my God. They missed the opportunity to do something in New Japan where like all the Bullet Club guys live together.
Oh, that'd be great. All right, what else do we have?
I think we got one from Hogan.
I have
here.
one.
All right, let's do like one or two more, and then we'll go record something else.
Okay. Have you talked about Disney's interest in WWE? If not, I'm curious how strong that interest actually is, and if ABC is a legitimate possibility for them if Disney is indeed the destination. I've been saying this shit for years.
I know I mean, listen, Rich has been saying this for years because it makes a lot of sense, right?
Mhm.
And part of the story is, okay, well, the Hall of Fame, for example, they wanted a physical Hall of Fame. We've always said, well, Universal would be the place to put it, and it hasn't happened. I think now with the Endeavor connection, I think there's more synergy between a Disney property. But remember, Disney was also considering selling off the ESPN rights, selling off ESPN and spinning it into something else. So that was a conversation a couple of years ago. Do you put WWE content on ESPN Plus? Do you put it on Disney Plus? I don't think you can with a lot of the stuff. Do you start doing, some sort of weird merger of? Do you have the Undertaker in the Marvel universe?
Oh yeah.
That would be interesting if they did like a multiverse thing, right? And it's like all they did, like Star Wars. They go into like the Star Wars universe, like, and you know what you could do? You could do it with the Guardians of the Galaxy. There you go. I'm booking this.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 14, whatever the hell they're at. And they go through this weird tunnel, and they end up in all these different Marvel property universes.
Yep.
They end up in the UFC. They end up in WWE. They end up in this. They end up in that. They kind of like fall into different places.
I think it would be easy. It would start with the comics, obviously. I feel like if they were going to do it and Marvel had a hand in it because of the Disney thing, you would see like Undertaker show up in like an X-Men comic or some shit, or somewhere,
Steve Austin.
Yep.
In the Avengers.
Oh, I would love. Hell yeah, I'd love it.
And then but he doesn't do his regular line. You know what he does? Mm-hmm.
What does he do? Oh, it's Sassy Steve Austin.
Yeah, Sassy Steve.
We got here a super chat from our buddy Bachelor 3000. Happy Father's Day, my juicies.
Oh, happy Father's Day, my juicies. This guy has the best lines.
Definitely. Love you, Bachelor. And we got one from Kyle over here saying, late to the party, but always catch up. What's up, boys? Hope you had a great weekend. Keep up the hard work. Always appreciated here.
Love it. Thank you.
And one last question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
From Pro Wrestling Joe.
Yes. How many CM Punk shirts does big CM Punk fan Dave Zasloff own, do you think? I think Zasloff has his entire wall is just CM Punk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. David Zasloff is a huge CM Punk fan.
I'm going to say 3 or 4.
You think 3 or 4? You think he wears it to his meetings?
I think he has, because he's an exec. I think he's got all the exclusives.
I think Cult of Personality plays when he walks into a room.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fantastic. All right, my babies. That is it for this week. Rich and I are going to be doing Wrestling Observer Live tonight.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week. Anything you want to add, Rich? Happy Father's Day.
Man. That's it. Happy Father's Day, guys. That's it. Happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day to all the daddy-os out there. Love you, each and every one of you. Bye-bye for now.